The town that forgot its name. Did you know there is a town in France that erased its own name from every record? And no one remembers why. A place so secret, even the dead don't have headstones. On maps, it appears as a blank patch of land, and locals whisper that if you ever speak its name aloud, you'll forget your own. They call it the town that forgot itself. It began with Andrea, an intern at the French National Archives. She was scanning World War II census data when she noticed a pattern. Every region had listings for its small villages and hamlets. Every region except one. A small square of land in northern France, near the Ardennes. The coordinates were blurred. There was no postal code, no administrative record. At first, Andrea thought it was a glitch, a corrupted entry, or missing page. But when she compared physical maps printed decades apart, she realized the blank had always been there. No roads leading in, no photographs, only a faint handwritten note in the corner of one old map. Ray des Cartes. Erased from maps. Local rumor said there had once been a village there. Dozens of families, a church, a limestone schoolhouse, the kind of quiet place where time moved slowly. Until one night, everything stopped. A fire? No. A flood? Not exactly. People disagreed on what had happened. Some said the villagers had made a pact during the war to hide something. Others whispered that the German army had tested a gas there so secret that even the soldiers who used it went insane. But the most chilling version claimed that the villagers themselves had decided to disappear. They burned their birth records, scratched out the signposts, buried the church bell in a field, and then they left. Every single one. Decades later, in 1998, a journalist named Elise Moreau decided to investigate. She'd grown up not far from the area and remembered the warnings she'd heard as a child. Never drive through that forest after dark. She took a map, a compass, and a local historian, and together they entered the woods. Within minutes, their GPS went offline. The compass needle began to spin. Her camera malfunctioned. But the strangest thing was the sound. Bells, distant but distinct. Children laughing. And beneath it all a soft, wavering hymn. Later, Elise would write that it felt as though the forest was remembering itself, just long enough to let them lose their way. When she developed her photos, every frame was normal except one, the church, perfectly in focus, bathed in pale light. Except the church hadn't existed for decades, and on the steps stood a row of people. She tried to publish the story, but 2 days later, the article was removed from her newspaper's website. Her editor told her there had been a request from the ministry. Her hard drive was seized. And when she called the archives to contact Andrea, she was told the intern no longer worked there. No record, no forwarding address. A government spokesperson denied everything. There was never a town at those coordinates, they said. There never has been. But satellite images suggested otherwise. When overlaid with older maps, faint foundations appeared beneath the trees, a perfect grid of shapes too precise to be natural. The internet did what the government wouldn't. It began to dig. Reddit threads, conspiracy blogs, late-night forums. Some claimed the village was part of Operation Blue, a classified post-war experiment in psychological warfare. Others swore the soil was radioactive, sealed off after a secret nuclear test. But one theory kept resurfacing: the collective forgetting ritual. According to old folklore, if an entire community remains silent for 9 consecutive days, no names spoken, no words written, they can erase themselves from memory itself. Not just from history, but from human consciousness. When the ritual works, the world forgets you. Completely. Only traces remain. Buildings with no names, voices in the wind, and that unsettling feeling that you've seen this place before, but can't remember when. In 2015, a YouTuber tried to locate the area using vintage maps. He live-streamed the entire journey. The footage is still online. Halfway through, the video cuts to static. But just before it does, you can hear him whisper, "I found the bell." Days later, police found his car on a dirt road near the forest. The engine was still running. The driver's seat was empty. His phone lay face down in the mud, still recording. And somewhere in the distance, faint but unmistakable, was the ringing of a bell. Today, that region remains uninhabited. Satellite maps still show only a dense forest, featureless and dark. But every few months, someone reports hearing bells at night. And sometimes, letters arrive at the nearest post office. No return address. No sender addressed simply to the forgotten parish. So if you ever find yourself driving through the Ardennes and your GPS suddenly dies, don't pull over. Because some places aren't lost, they're remembering the ones who came looking for them. And if you listen closely enough, in the quiet between heartbeats, you might just hear the bell. Like and comment the video. Please subscribe for more scary stories.